Honestly, I don't feel like making this video. If you don't want to listen to something that's kind of low energy, then click off this video because I woke up with a sore throat. I feel like shit. I've been wanting to sleep all fucking day, but I've had back to back to back calls. Just came back from the grocery store. I'm fucking dead tired. Like I would feel great if I was in an unconscious state. That's just how I'm feeling right now. But I'm making this video because I hope that it hits someone that needs to hear it. But I was just having a conversation with a client, and he was saying, yeah, I thought journaling is just meaning that you need something to be motivated about, that if you continue to write down your goals over and over and over again, then one day it's just going to magically be gifted to you. And I used to think that because I've gone down the rabbit hole of self development. And likely, if you're watching this channel or this video was suggested to you, you are going down the same rabbit hole of self development, trying to better yourself and actually achieve your goals instead of just watching other people achieve their shit. And I was always told from the start, like, journal. Journal, that's something you should always be doing. Journal out your goals, make sure you remind yourself every single day. And, I always heard this from guys who are at a level that I wanted to get to. And I'm like, what do you mean fucking journal? Like, just pray to God that this just appears in my life. And honestly, I that's what I thought for a long time until I had this epiphany after talking to a client. And he was saying, I thought that's how it goes. But as I continue to take more and more action and view it from a macro perspective, meaning years, 1 or 2 years of writing down the things that I wanted to be every single day, the goals that I had, subconscious reprogramming towards the characteristics that my ideal version of me possesses, the materialistic things that I have, the family that I have, very, very specific things that I want in my life. Um, it's not a matter of like they just get gifted to you from God and you're just praying that they just magically appear in your life. But this is how it works that I didn't realize when I first started a self improvement, when I was writing down my goals every single day. When you start to remind your subconscious, remind your conscious, remind yourself of what you're working towards, what your ideal state looks like in the next 3 to 5 years from now, then on a subconscious level, the actions you take every single day will align with that desired state. I'll give you an example. If this year you want to lose 30 pounds, there's one way you can think of it. You don't really write down your goals. You're telling yourself it would be really good if I could lose weight this year. That's what you tell yourself. So there's two people. One who's doing that. The second person who is writing down their goal every single day. I want to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to be in a calorie deficit. I'm going to be going to the gym 4 times a week for 45 minutes each session. I'm going to be tracking my weight every single week. So one person A and then person B. Person A, they want to lose weight. Like they know it's something they want to do. They're starting to eat a little bit healthier. They're going to the gym more. But because they're not reminding themselves of what they want every single day, their subconscious mind doesn't know what reality to compare it to. Because if that person A, is going, walk into the kitchen, right? Because he kind of wants to lose weight, he might pick up a snack from the kitchen because his subconscious mind doesn't know exactly where he wants to get to. And to him, that snack doesn't really mean much because he doesn't know if he's going to go over on his calories that day. He doesn't know why it actually matters if he eats the snack or he doesn't. Compared to person B, I didn't mean to flick you off, but compared to person B, I was trying to go for the person B there, but compared to person B, right? If he walks past the kitchen, even though that he's hungry, he's on a deficit, he wants a snack, he sees popcorn. I just got popcorn from a grocery store. I'm on a bulk, so fuck off. But he sees popcorn. He wants to give into the popcorn. The fat ass side of him is saying like, bro, just eat a cup. But then he's reminded by his subconscious, which he reminds himself every single day by writing his goals, that he wants to lose 30 pounds that year. And because he has an exact goal that he's working towards, he knows that if he takes how he does one thing is how he does everything. So if he gives into the snack, what's saying that later on in the night he gives into something else like a nice chicken Alfredo dish from Olive Garden, which sounds fire right now. As you can see, I have some cravings. But because he's reminded of where exactly he wants, his subconscious mind will play actions and make him understand that the actions he needs to take has to be congruent towards his 30-pound loss goal. And that's exactly how it works. It's not motivational, but it is subconscious reprogramming to reinforce the identity of what you want. The person who loses 30 pounds isn't someone who just gives into snacking whenever he feels like it. He is someone who is disciplined, who's consistent, who's tracking his macros every single day and going to the gym. But that person who wants to maybe lose weight, his identity is maybe losing that weight. It's not a firm identity. That is what was missing, is that's what journaling and reading these motivational quotes reminds you of. It's the subconscious reprogramming in a very concrete way. And I'll go a little bit further down this. For a characteristic based goal, for example, like if you want to be a better communicator, this was a big one for me in the past year, especially. I thought of myself as a weak communicator. I kind of got insecure the way I talked to other people, the way I conveyed my message, the way that other people perceived me on a level of competency. And I couldn't really verbalize myself in a great way. And I was very insecure about that until I understood to the T what the version of me who is a high level communicator, what does he do? Okay, his tonality is strong. He has good tonality. He focuses on that. His pacing within the way he speaks, like it's entertaining. The way he talks, it's not monologues, which again, I'm sick right now. I hope this isn't too monologues, but he okay, I apologize. I meant to say monotone instead of monologue, but the point I'm trying to convey here is that you have to have a very, very detailed and concrete and visceral image of this person you want to be the next 6 months from now and the next 12 months from now. So every single action you take on a daily basis will compound over time. And this is why I said you had to view it from the macro perspective, because I thought in the short term, like if I just wrote down my goals for the next 3 months, then magically a Lamborghini will appear in my driveway. But I promise you, there has been no man in history that has wanted a specific thing so bad and taken action towards that thing for a prolonged amount of time and not gotten that thing. It's virtually impossible. And one thing I want you to keep in mind during videos like this, it's not a matter of motivation, but it's a matter of taking on new information and applying it. And I want to dive into my next point, which is that this is how you get mental clarity, because anything you do for the first time, it's going to be kind of foggy too. You're not going to have complete clarity within the actions you take because you haven't seen the outcome yet. And that's why from an early age, like at least I know for me, I had a hard time having mental clarity because quite honestly, I'm 21 years old right now. That is pretty young in a macro perspective. I might be old compared to maybe someone who's 15 watching this video, but compared to someone who's 60 years old who might watch this video, like I'm young. And in life, like I haven't seen things out thoroughly. So I don't have complete clarity throughout each action that I take because I haven't had enough experience in this world yet. And from a young age, it's hard to have that experience because, you have time, like you have time to live out. So that's why anything you do like that's new for the first time, you're not going to have complete clarity over this. Um, then I'll kind of like break this down a little bit more. I'm working with a client right now, and he has a marketing agency. He does cold calls. That's how he reaches out to new clients. And he was telling me like the biggest thing is that he doesn't feel like he has full clarity within the cold calls that he has. And I'm saying, bro, like you're just doing this for the first time. You don't even know how it would look like if you completely put yourself through a script, completely, know how to handle every single objection, go from cold calling to booking the appointment to closing the deal. Like you don't know the entire foundation of what you're doing right now. So the only way you can get that clarity, which clarity is taking perceived action and understanding like why you're doing what you're doing, and like what the outcome is, how you get to the outcome, like what to do if there's been like obstacles in the way of that outcome. And the only way you can get to that point where you do have that mental clarity, where you know exactly what you're doing and you do it flawlessly, is with repetition. Anyone doing something new for the first time, there's no way you can actually expect to do it perfectly the first time over. That's very unrealistic, and that's why you don't have clarity because you haven't taken enough reps yet. And I was thinking about this morning because I switched up my morning routine a little bit, and just recently I felt like I can execute on my morning routine flawlessly because it's been maybe 3 or 4 weeks of me doing it every single day, weekends included. Wake up at 5:45, get up, make my bed, brush my teeth, cold fucking shower, frees my mind, wakes my me up mentally, hits my body, and like my body is awake mentally as well. I drink 32 ounces of water, and then I do 50 push-ups and some mobility work. Takes maybe 20, 30 minutes. Very good way to jumpstart my day and put me in an instant flow state. And just recently, I've been feeling like this is absolutely flawless. I've been executing flawlessly on that morning routine. When in the start, I was like kind of like wandering around my apartment, like moving from the cold shower to making my bed. But it got so habitual because I did it so many times over. And I have that clarity now because I've done it so many times over. So pretty much the answer I'm trying to give you in this video is just do more of what you're doing and you'll get a happy result. You'll feel a lot better. But yeah, I hope this video helped out. I guess my energy was a little bit better than I thought, but I just didn't feel like recording this video. So I hope you got some value from it. If you did, I'm trying to grow this channel up. So I'd appreciate your support from the start. Like this video, subscribe, comment something you learned, or comment like a question you might have. I have my IG in the bio of this or the description of this video. I respond to all my DMs personally. I post my daily life every single day. So check that out. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.